All right, thanks for joining us again, folks. On where are we? What are we doing?
Yeah, I don't even know. What, do we do a family through service?
Family through service, the V2VG video podcast on the road again. We didn't even know what we're doing. We're doing something.
Yeah, right. It's that time of year again.
Yeah, it's that time of year. Well, it's Thanksgiving is approaching.
Yes.
Yeah.
What? Less than a week. Yeah. 4 days. So
we are on the way to deliver our seventh annual holiday program baskets, Thanksgiving baskets, down to Tilton Diner. We've decided that that's pretty much a good midway point to reach to meet people who are coming up from parts all over the place in New Hampshire. It's about an hour south from us, roughly, right?
Yeah, it's a great. I mean, we established that a few years ago, and
Yeah.
Tilton's a good one because it covers a good portion of the halfway between the south, but also towards the coast because we're up in the mountains. We're a little way away from the coast, so it works out pretty nicely because we already cover the northern part of the state and a good portion of Vermont, close to where we're at. So,
and at least today, although it's cold, it's not raining or snowing, and I know a couple years the weather has been a lot worse. So,
indeed.
Knock on wood, the weather's not inclement right now, so we should be making good time. But it's about an hour there, hour back, so maybe we can get a couple videos in and see what we're doing. But maybe next year we won't be able to go as far south to meet clients, so this might be one of our last hurrahs to go meet people, but maybe not. Maybe we'll still be able to do it. So the program changes every year.
Exactly, and that's a big part of it is as we've expanded, programs have been taken on by other board members and not just the core 3 or 4 people. So there's some growing pains with it, but it's really important for us to be able to trust other board members to do, their own creative aspect.
Yeah, and that's part of the problem, both good and bad, with growing as an organization is, letting go of the baby, watching the baby grow up, I guess you would say, because like you said, you gotta let go and let other people step into the chair position and do it their way, right?
Well, plus if we didn't, we would see a lacking in the attention to detail when it comes to the casework, and it would take away from what our primary mission is. I mean, this is a program within the mission, but the mission is fully to help our brothers and sisters in arms. And
it is, and this is just an additional thing that we do. Yeah, and which is a good thing that we do. Don't get me wrong, but
we've just gotten so big in the office with how many cases we're taking on. We wouldn't be able to do both and do them at the quality we would want to have done them.
So and we both wear a lot of hats in the office, so we whether officially or unofficially, literally and figuratively. I know you got a Santa hat can you find your Santa hat? Do you know where it is?
What?
The pink Santa hat?
I don't know.
Well, we're gonna have to find one. We're going to have to find one again. And I need one. I want a green one. Did I have a green one that one year?
You had the green one and I had the pink one,
We've got to find those again for the Christmas part of the program. But anyway, we digress. So CJ was supposed to be with us, our intern, but he didn't wake up in time. So we are flying solo for On the Road Again. And we had a couple of topics we wanted to talk about, but I think we should do... What topic do you want to talk about this time? On this particular one.
What's fresh in our minds is what we were just talking about with working with other organizations, and then also how some organizations almost take advantage of others opposed to trying to work together.
Yeah, it's a fine line, right? We work in conjunction with a lot of veteran organizations and other organizations to aid the people and clients that we serve, and working in tandem with other organizations is great because many hands make light work. Obviously, it shouldn't be any one organization that does all the work, because there's a lot of burnout in casework, right? And it's a
Absolutely,
big
yeah.
financial drain. But on the other hand, sometimes organizations can, like Chuck said, almost seem, well, maybe willingly or knowingly or unknowingly take advantage of other organizations, and that can be frustrating for us, at least when we see it or notice it.
Yeah, what did they say? Don't attribute malice where ignorance can be the reason or whatnot.
Yeah,
Something to that effect.
that's true. And I'm cynical. I'm a cynical person. So sometimes I jump the gun and I say, "Oh, they're doing that on purpose. They're trying to screw us over."
Well,
maybe.
normally after 2 times, like the thing is, well,
Possibly.
our store, the thrift store,
B2VG Thrift in Franconia
is I would say covers probably about 95% of all the finances that we can cover. I mean, we do get some outside donations on occasion, but almost everything that comes in that covers overhead and our casework is through the store. So when we have other organizations who are looking to just get things for free, but it's like that's
to support themselves.
That's a part that we do for specific veterans, and there's a whole process to go through to do that.
To get things to support them. Right. It's tough because, like you said, Chuck, B2VG Thrift in Franconia does supply the lion's share of our funding for our general treasury and our programs, mostly our programs. So until we get our grant writing going, which we're going to try to do in 2026, which is just around the corner.
Yeah.
Just around the corner. That's where our funds come from, the generosity of the people of the area and the people who visit. So, like you said, when other organizations come and knowingly or unknowingly, willingly or however, strip us of our things from the thrift store, it does directly impact our ability to help our clients and our ability to do our mission.
And that's what's most important. It's not so much what you're doing to us, but how it directly affects our ability to cover certain aspects. And again,
it's not that we don't want to
things
help.
are already cheap as it is at the store. I mean, Jen and Nancy do everything they can to make it almost a steal.
And that's true too.
And so it's like, and then to ask for it to be completely free is, when there's record of, set organization having a very lucrative treasury, it makes it, it stings a little bit more.
It does sting. It's kind of hard to swallow. And again, like I had mentioned, it's not that we don't want to help. That's don't get me wrong. That's not the case at all. But it does sting a little more. It's like, well, and there is also a process to go through because our board of directors has to sort of approve the process if we're going to donate sort of a significant amount of things to another organization, and as opposed to a specific veteran.
No,
because there's already a process in place to donate for a specific veteran. Whereas if we're going to donate to an organization, there's a whole different set of policies to do that. So it's difficult to kind of swallow that and go from there. So it's definitely problematic for us on multiple levels, but it's a hard pill to swallow for sure.
Yeah, and this is only the most recent situation we've seen like this. We've had,
and for people too.
Yeah, politicians, who just want their names on a program.
Yep.
But don't want to make it effective or self-sufficient, and and have really screwed some of our local business owners out of hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yes.
And it's oh, well, we don't want to deal with the red tape, or we don't want to change this or the other. It's like,
and they've come to us privately and said, we're out X $100,000 literally dollars, and they've said it's not about the money to us, but it's about helping these people, and we're kind of stuck in the middle.
But they didn't know that's the way it was going to be, because since that we've separated from even communicating with anybody in that sphere for a program, we've had the the dental people reach out to us and said, it's not about the money. I want to work with you guys to make sure we're taking care of our veterans, and we can establish other ways to make income and whatnot. And that's where it really is the flip side of working with organizations and businesses. And
because we had to pivot and change to a entirely different medical program because we wanted to do something for our veterans that didn't steal the thunder for other people. And then now those particular professionals said, well, we still want to help, but they're not doing anything. They're just saying they're doing something. So now we have to go back and try to rewrite what's going on. And I know we're being vague on purpose because we don't want to pound our chests and say, look at us. That's not who we are.
And nothing's set in stone either.
And nothing's set in stone. But again, funding is an issue.
And the only program we do have is the Hometown
Eye Care.
But maybe you can put that link up to Colin's video, because I think he did a great job to explain
for his school.
Yeah. So if he gives you permission, obviously,
of course,
he did a really good job breaking it down and why it was important to us.
Yeah.
But working with other organizations is so important, and because we've kind of had to do it to begin with anyway, because we didn't have any skin in the game. We came from nothing. We had to really earn our stripes.
Yep.
It's made things that, when under typical circumstances, would create some animosity or even complete fallout. It's made it a lot easier to deal with people.
Yeah.
For example, we had a caseworker with SSVF sent us some documentation. We asked for the end of term service. They gave us the training, and so there was a little bit of me giving a little bit of an attitude, and then
getting a little bit of attitude.
His response but he called immediately, and he's like, hey, I got a newborn. I only slept 2 or 3 hours.
Immediately called right away.
And I was like, well, I'm
you
sorry.
You were typing a
I'm sorry, I was a little bit of an ass too, and but because of that, we were able to actually look at the paperwork together and figure out why certain things were documented in certain ways. So
what I think about that situation, which was just the other day, literally 2 days ago, or was it yesterday? Might have been yesterday. I don't know. But anyway, what I think about that situation is that no matter what personal issues happened, you and that gentleman came together and handled it like men, and for the benefit of the veteran.
And that's really what is so important.
It wasn't a pissing contest, right? It wasn't a pissing contest about egos to see who was right or who was wrong, and it could have been. We would have won.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're watching, but it was for the benefit of the veteran. But it's no matter whether it's an individual or an organization or whatever, or a program or whatever you want to say, no matter what, we all do this to serve the people that we serve, the clients we serve, the veterans or first responders or their caregivers or their dependent family members. In the end, when it's all said and done, no matter what happens, we are all trying to help these people. And sometimes you got to put ego aside, or your name on the headlines or the marquee aside, and help these people. That's why V2VG, not V2V, because that's a program in other organizations, okay? Not V2V or Vet to Vet. Please no. V2VG or Veterans to Veterans group. That's why we exist. It's to help people who need help. That's why we're here. And that's why all those other organizations are there, to help people. I think sometimes folks lose sight of that. And
that's the thing, when it starts to be more about dollar signs, especially as an individual, as an employee or a CEO or whatever, the more you focus on that and lose sight of the mission is when those some of those mistakes can be made, and they're not able to be fixed. And an organization can have its whole brand tarred because of focus on the funds and not on the mission.
Well, their brand gets tarred, their soul gets kind of ripped out.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you lose sight of the big picture and you start being myopic and you're looking at money,
it's tough.
It gets tough. It does get tough. And again, you're missing the forest for the trees. You got to look at why you. Sometimes you got to step back and look at why you started, right?
And
you can handle the minutia. And I know it's funny to say money is minutia, but it really is, because these people need help.
And they have far less than what exactly. And
so you can handle the money situation one way or another, and there's time to handle that. But these people who need help now.
And I think on the flip side of it, and we met with Vanessa, and we kind of was getting the same thing from her, is that how easy it is to become overwhelmed and just emotionally beaten from being a caseworker. And not, is one of the things we have to remind ourselves to take some time to spend time with family. Don't always bring every case home with you. Like to
burnout's
get burnt out. And it's so huge, and and that's why we try and establish these type of things when going into the holidays. We take about a month off of generic cases, and
we're still in the office. We still work for crisis cases.
Yeah,
we still do a lot of end of year administrative paperwork, and we work on other things in the office that we still have to do. But we do try to mitigate, like you said, generic stuff, run-of-the-mill meat and potato cases, because we got to try to avoid burnout, because every day pretty much you hear these sad stories and these things day in and day out, and it does take a toll.
And we've had in 2 years 2 different alternate caseworkers come and go. And all the big organizations are in and out, high turnover rates. And
we've had two
VA.
We've had 2 caseworkers that were checking to see if they wanted to be caseworkers come in and say, I can't do it. One who's a board member still, and another one who came, actually 3. The 2 females and the 1 male who we're still with, who's at the other organization. He was like, nah, I can't do it. It's too much.
And and that's fine.
Which is good. At least they're being honest.
Yeah, exactly. And it's definitely not for the lighthearted or faint. It's
they were just like, I can't do it.
We deal with is very interpersonal, very in your face, and a lot of times, probably more times than the financial assistance, most of the people we work with just need someone to validate what's going on, to help provide some resources, give them an outlet to express what's going on, because a lot of times, I know Eric and I have gone through it within different programs we've been in personally, you just brushed aside or
treated like a number.
It's And
I know we've said it before on video, and we'll say it again, probably say it again and again and again. We're told often, no matter what happens with the board, thank you guys, Chuck and I and whoever else is in the office, for just listening and hearing our story and treating us like people and validating, like you said, our situation. Because like you said, Chuck, a lot of times they're treated like a number or brushed aside. We don't really care what your story is. How much do you need? And we'll just take your number to the people who write a check, and we'll decide based on numbers whether we're going to write the check or not. And
sometimes that's the best case scenario, right?
Sometimes, and that's fine, but not really good, right? Sometimes people want to be heard.
And need to, they need to hear, like, yes, you're asking for help with whatever bill, but between our experiences and the experience we've built up, just knowing, hey, you may have a strong case for presumptive, Agent Orange, or any bit of info helps for a lot of these people
Yeah.
when they finally do get to open up to us.
Well, one of the things that we do in the office for V2VG is we triage cases. So one of the things that you're good at, Chuck, is when a client calls or we do an intake, when they call and we schedule an intake, because often we're busy and we can't do it right away, is they'll call and say, I need help with electric. Let's just say, for an example. And then we go through the process with them and we say, okay, you need $400 for your electric bill, and I'm just spitballing here. And then we talk to them and everything, and we're getting into their story because we want to hear the story. Why do you need help with electric? What's going on? And then we find out that they need help with electric because they got laid off from work. And oh, by the way, they also don't have any heat and they're behind on their propane bill. Oh, and by the way, they haven't had food in the house for 2 weeks. And so now we find out that there's a cascade of issue. And then we triage their situation to find out, okay, they're behind on their electric, but what do they feel is the most important thing? Oh, well, actually, they've got 5 kids and food is most important because, yeah, they're behind on electric, but they're actually 3 months behind on their rent payment. So, maybe we should work on their rent payment and then we can worry about their electric payment, next month. But see, so we triage these cases, and Chuck, you find out what's most important for them first. We tackle that, and then in order, we can bring that to our board of directors.
Yeah, because it's important. I think a lot of us in the first responder and veteran community tend to be proud, and not prideful, but proud, and don't want to ask for help. And so when we do ask for help, we try and minimize it, opposed to here's the whole caboodle of everything that's going. We kind of have to pull that out of our clients,
right? Yeah,
which is okay. It's something that we've created to be able to do, but
with a conversational way of talking. Like I said, it's not just, oh, you need help with electric, bang bang, and then shut them off and go on our next case. It's part of the conversation that we have, that we were talking about, right?
And it could lead to, hey, oh, well, I need my glasses, but okay, we have a program for that. Or
which is separate from our assistance, right?
It's, having troubles with, well, we don't give legal advice, but we can try and get a direct resource for it. So that small the electric bill, which they brought up, turns into a whole conversation about what's going on, and then we can
it could be a lot more
alleviate a lot more of the stress.
And then they find out that, we find out that it's kind of more problem. They're in a deeper situation than what we initially thought, or maybe than what they initially thought, because their mindset, like you said, Chuck, is somebody else needs more help than we do. And we hear that a lot.
All the time.
And we're like, yeah, that's true, but you're that somebody for somebody else.
And I think one of the things, especially in the last year or so, I've noticed is I really enjoy the fact that when people reach out to us to begin with, how surprised they are of the other organizations we know about.
Yeah.
But also when we're getting referrals from these other organizations, and how much we're working together now with far less jumping through hoops. It's pretty simple.
It's straightforward thing. Yeah, for sure.
And a lot of these people, our clients don't know about a lot of these programs because most of the VA doesn't know about half their own programs. So it's one of those things.
That's actually a fact, folks.
So
this is true, but we know about it. We try to aggregate all the information in one spot, and we're like, no, this is the PCAFC caregiver program, is a program at the VA. Just ask them about it. If they don't know, it's there, it's real. They can look it up. They'll find it. Trust me. Just as an example, and furthermore, right? Here's a direct contact to the PCAFC, the caregiver program. We can get you going on that. We can't do the paperwork, but we can get you in contact with someone who can.
And that's something we've
in
always
addition
tried
to whatever,
strive for, is to begin with, was not doing here's the website or 800 number. No, here's Eric here's his phone number, and
when we're able,
whether it be at the vet center, mental health aspects, legal, we can try. We got a great physical PT physical.
Oh, at the Seablock in Littleton.
Yeah, so
Sally.
we get all these like great resources that we've collected that we can give direct names and numbers to.
And we can't do it for everything because sometimes that's just the West the way it is. But as much as possible, we do. Now, I mean, like you said, but we've done that since forever. That was one of the things that Chuck and I talked about in the beginning is we want to give a point of contact, a direct POC when we can, because mostly anybody can look up a 1-800 number, and that's not going to get you to much places. We want to try to bypass that as much as possible, and we really do try. But, you know, as far as other organizations, and that's how we work with other organizations. And when they work with us, they try to do the same thing, but we want that kind of communication with other organizations. But when other organizations try to bypass the process and go straight to, say, the thrift store and try to get free stuff, it's a little unfair to us because we want to make sure that the little red tape we have is followed. So, you know, we want to make sure that when we work with them, they work with us properly. We want to make sure that the little rules that are there, we want to follow because we have a policy and program in place to follow.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes other organizations, like we're pretty simple in what we require. Yeah. Some organizations may need, you know, a release of information. Some may need a whole list of other things. And a lot of times we can do our best to provide most of that documentation.
And send it to them.
Yeah. So it's all aggregated and sent out from one place to another.
And we try that,
You know.
We actually have a new process, right, Chuck?
Yeah, so it's you know.
Our old process was if you get a hold of us, we would send you paperwork and an email link, and then you'd have to do it. So now we have a new process that you can actually fill out everything on your phone or your tablet or your computer to try to make it more convenient, more accessible for you. We're trying to make, look, as we grow, we're trying to make it more convenient for our folks to do things. We still have the old way, if that's better for you.
Which we've had some hiccups, and I think that's mostly the users, not the tool. We've been screwing up more.
Usually I say don't blame the artist, don't blame the brush. But in this case, blame us.
But I mean, we have gotten good reviews from the people who have been able to use it.
Yeah.
And then there's that other feature that you made sure we got, which was the audio. So you can
you can say
a person can speak instead of providing a full written summary or whatever the case may be.
Just in case.
And you can upload the documents required right into that program.
Same sheet. Look, we try to make it as easy as possible because a lot of the folks we work with are elderly. They're in their late 80s, 90s. Look, we get it. We want to make it as easy as possible for our veterans, for other organizations. Bottom line is we want to help. And we not just the veterans and their families and whatever. We want to help other organizations work with us too.
No, absolutely. And I mean, we put together, we already have 5 addendums for the handbook, but we've offered to give that to different organizations. All of our board members have them. Yeah. Like, you know, we're also looking for feedback. Hey, like maybe you should adjust this verbiage or whatever the case is and go from there. So it really is as much a give and take as possible. And
absolutely.
As long as the criticism is constructive and not asking if we took our meds or
which we've had,
you know, those
did you take your meds yet? Like, yeah, and screw you. But
but you know, it's been as much as it has been a pain in dealing with some of the ins and outs of everything. It's been a lot of fun. We've met and come close to some great people.
Awesome.
And now we have people pretty regularly reaching out to us that we've assisted prior, reaching out, hey, how are you guys doing? They know our families by name, our kids, and things like that. And it's far more important and far more of a thank you for us than ever receiving a paycheck, knowing that the people, we've impacted them in such a way that they're giving us a call, hey, I just wanted to check on you, or sending us the thank you cards and whatnot.
Yeah, which is really nice because it does help with the burnout a little bit because
Definitely, yeah.
it's as much as we try to make our folks feel like people, when they make us feel like human beings too, it's nice because it's sort of reciprocal. So
Absolutely.
and that goes for clients as well as the other agencies. So Vanessa, if you're watching, you're the top person to do that. So thank you very much.
No, absolutely. And, I think one of the things we always chuckle about is when we can get some of these professional organizations to let their hair down a little and maybe let a little
Profanity slip.
profanity slip, or just kind of laugh at issues that we're both having and whatnot, and sometimes it's nice to just not talk about a case and just, hey, what are you guys doing for Thanksgiving? Are you taking the whole week off? Whatever.
Yeah.
Those type of things, and
we don't always have to talk shop.
it makes a world of difference. And so.
All right.
Sometimes that half hour is worth the 2-hour drive, to do a half-hour meeting or whatnot. So
sometimes you just got to do it, right?
But yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and there's nothing in my line of sight that says we're going to stop anytime soon. So,
well, we're already on exit 20 something, so we are going to stop soon.
Well, I meant
I know. I'll put up some pictures of dropping the box off and out of the people. So, thanks, folks. We'll talk to you soon.